Welcome back to the Reseller Catalog, the only channel brave enough to ask the real questions. You know, the ones Minitude doesn't want you to ask. What if I told you Tio isn't just some mysterious omnipotent villain lurking behind the infection, but an echo of something far darker? What if I told you the sassy blade-wielding fox walking inside the carnival isn't a furry side character, but actually a remnant from Sans Undertale? He'd probably call me crazy, but he might say I've had too much coffee. But today, insanity, me, that's me, I'm referring myself in the third person, we're cracking open a theory wilds to make me explode. I'm exploding right now. Let's begin. Gaster, a name drenched in mystery. Dr. W.D. Gaster was a royal scientist before Atlas. He filmed his creation, shattered across time and space. Now tell me, doesn't this sound familiar? Where does Tio, known as the Intuous one, or whatever it's called, claims to be the force behind the Piggy infection. He, at one point in the screen, was from the void, operating in a space between corrupting minds. And what is Gaster known for? You could find him in Undertale, in a weird room in Waterfall. Now, it's not explicitly said that it's a void, but it's pretty widespread that he lives in a void. The void, a corruption of code, manipulations of timelines. Now, here's where it gets weirder. In distorted memory, we see things that aren't real, hallucination, glitch dimensions, whispers from nowhere, be it text on the wall. All of that are remnants of the Gaster followers in Undertale. Glitchy beings that don't belong in normal space that are highly connected to Gaster because they're his followers. They're gray, they don't match their environment. What if Tio isn't just a villain in Piggy? What if he's a manifestation of Gaster, lost in the Piggy timeline after falling underground? It would explain his obsession for controlling outcomes, the use of telepathy, shadowy forms, interdimensional speech. What if his name feels symbolic like the initials T-I-O, or maybe an interdimensional overseer? Boom! He's literally Gaster! Now, Foxy is... Now, let's go into the other part that I mentioned in the beginning. Foxy is Sans. Now, you're probably looking at me like I've lost my marbles at the carnival maze. But let's talk about Foxy. Not much is known about Piggy, but other than that he was locked up in a cage like a danger to others. But the signs are literally right there. If you squint hard enough and enjoy the... and ignore the logic for 15 minutes. He's fast, he's dodgy, just like Sans. He wears a hoodie. Yeah, it's black, but the artistic liberty exists. His theme in Carnival is weirdly melancholic. Just like the Megalovania part at times, Foxy is trapped while the clown roams free. That's exactly how Sans feels, trapped in a world that doesn't make sense, surrounded by smiling monsters that pretend everything's fine. But here's the smoking gun. Sans says, "You're gonna have a bad time." And Foxy says, "If you continue, I will stop you myself," which is a very real line he says in game. Don't ask how he speaks, even if he's infected. That's something he actually doesn't get. What if Sans got lost in the genocide route? Fight. Just like Gaster, landed in himself. He was captured by carnival performers who mistook his presence as a threat and locked him away. Only because he knew what was coming. That's why he doesn't move. He's waiting, watching, and judging. And maybe, just maybe, his next attack is cued. Both Piggy and Undertale are both no strangers to breaking the fourth wall with meta narratives and hidden codes within the games. Tio's realm is glitchy and unstable, just like Hidden Broom can get Undertale's code that leads to Dastard Void. And Foxy's silence should be a nod to Sans' hidden lore. He only speaks to you when you force the issue. Actually, he doesn't speak at all because he's infected. And don't forget, Carnival's full of bright colors. Fake happiness, just like underneath it all, or just like Sans's signature style, goofy and over on the top and deadly underneath. So what does this really mean? Is Tio really Gaster, shadowed between games? Is Foxy actually Sans trapped in a new universe, where spaghetti is replaced by infected pig monsters? Or are we all just searching for meaning in the static? But all I know is this. When you stare into the void of Piggy for long enough, it starts whispering back. That's it for today. I'll see you next time, Lucellians.